Good evening. Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's had a good day. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves in MCOC or in life or whatever you're doing. Um, I'm back, same hotel. Hopefully the settings that I finally got adjusted for the what ended up being at least an hour long stream, and they held last night. Hopefully those will hold throughout this stream tonight. That said, couple things for those that weren't able to witness last night's stream. Hey, Jason, what's going on? The quality may be a little lower. What I've had to do is change a bunch of stuff. Basically, the stream's going out at 720p instead of 1080p. It just is what it is. That helps lower some of the packet sizes and things like that. It's also going out at 30 frames per second instead of 60. So it's the best I can do when I'm on the road. Back to normal high quality streams when I'm home or when I get to a hotel with better internet connection. That said, a few things to kind of go over and discuss this evening. There was a new Deb Diary post from Kabam. Excellent. It's almost like they were listening and watching last night's stream. Hard to believe, but there you go. It was another great transparent communication moment from Kabam. Very, very happy with that. Let's see, what else? War rewards. And with all, war reward seasons, there's the talk of cheating and docking and stuff like that. I've got some thoughts there that maybe I'll share. Kind of been debating a little bit on the CCP server on it. I'll give my feedback and my views because, one of the alliances that gets docked on a regular basis got docked again. I'm not in an alliance that pushes, so while I'd like to say it doesn't really affect me, it does affect all of us. And I'll kind of get into a little bit of that. Hey, Kurt. Hey, Adam. So yeah, a few things to discuss. We got some game to play. We got, I kind of screwed up. I forgot to do the side quest last week. Didn't really miss out on much rewards, but I forgot to do it. So I did miss out on some. Feel bad there. I think that's the first time I've missed a side quest in a very long time. Hey, Doug. So, kind of thinking along those lines. Other than that, didn't get a war video out today. I was going to do it, but ended up going into work early, hitting the job site a lot earlier than what I expected to. And it took me, I'm glad I did because it took me a lot longer than what I thought it was going to as well. So yeah, those are kind of the things on my mind. Be glad to discuss anything on yours. For those that don't know that are in here, Kurd is now my alliance leader on my mini account. Can't believe they let him lead anything, but it is what it is. Hopefully he doesn't, crash it into the ground and let it burn. He invited another member of the chat that's not here, but he lives over in England, and I won't give his name out at all. Mike, but so anyway, there's all that. Let's kind of get into it. Let's go. I'm going to go to big screen so I can share because I don't have the source set up on this screen to share my browser window. So we're going to go big screen. I don't drink heavily one day and evening, and when I do, most of my there you go. One day a week. Okay. Works for me. Whatever you want to do. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. And there it is. It's up on the screen already. Almost, once again, almost like I planned to discuss this. I do want to move it just a little bit, though, because it's not quite formatted where I want it. Let's move you to there. There. All right, that'll do. That will do. So let me get over here, and now I can scroll down and move around in it. So this came out today from Kabam Dorky Diggity Dave. Not going to read down through it in its entirety. We'll try to kind of just go over it, but it's really talking about bug fixes, and it's something that we've talked about on this stream before. And I should wait till Faust, the other Faust, not Doug, but Faust out loud, is here so that he can appreciate this. This goes to what I've always talked about software development and things like that, how it's done in cycles and how you can't just do things in isolation. It affects everything that you do. So, you know, very, very good read. I don't want to go over it. I just want to highlight it for now. Maybe later on tonight, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But if you haven't read it, it's worth the read. It will give you, if you're not ever been involved in software engineering or anything like that, it will give you some good insight into what happens. And see, here's the kind of the key thing here. You can see these release charts, these release schedules. These are pretty much set in stone unless something is on fire. And in that case, things can change and adjust to some extent. You can't always change and do everything, or you miss a release date. You can see that they, when the bug has to be resolved by. That is so that they have time to test it. So, for example, on this next release that's coming up next week, the bugs that they could put in, the bug fixes they could put in, had to be done on March 4th. Anything found after March 4th has to be kind of triaged. Is it critical? Is it absolutely going to break the game completely if we don't fix it? Or is it just going to be a pain in the arse for a month? Yes, some bugs have lasted longer, and they kind of go into that in here as well. And they say, this is probably to me the key paragraph right here. From the developer side of things, waiting a few months to implement a bug fix that fits within the build release schedule feels like a rapid and organic turnaround. That's the normal time frame. It takes a while for it to get the bug to be identified, to have the fix implemented, to the code done and approved and all that. So it takes cycles. However, from a player's perspective, we understand this can not only feel like an eternity, but also a frustrating experience. Game development on a live service game is often not a sprint, but a marathon. To me, understand completely. And then to compound it is what we talked about a little bit last night with 10 years under our belt and 300 champions. So you got 300 champions, you got older legacy technology that most likely the devs working on it now did not implement the code in the beginning. So very hard to go back and fix someone else's work or update someone else's work to the current standard. So, very, very good read. If you haven't read it, I will put the link in the chat for those that haven't. I suggest you go read it. I'm not going to read all of it, but I will pin it there in the chat, and we can discuss it throughout the evening tonight. Now, let's hide that window. Where is my thingy thing here? There we go. Now it's hidden. And we're back in game. The other thing, Alliance War rewards came out. I think the leaderboards are broken right at the moment. Yeah, you can't see the leaderboards. We finished okay. I'll get into that later. But one of the things that did come out was, and I won't give alliance names. You guys can figure it out. It's not too hard. One of the upper alliances that typically gets docked got docked again. So the conversation came up, what should be done? What should be done with alliances that are perennial cheaters, who time and time again get banned, get docked, things like that? To me, I have a solution. Others say, well, you can't just, there's a couple schools of thought, and I'll give them all out here. One school of thought is, hey, identify those that cheat and give them a quote unquote scarlet letter. Put something on their player profile that identifies them as a cheater. Okay? So that person then, with that account, is identified as a cheater from that day forward. No removing it, no grace period, nothing. You cheat, you get the scarlet letter. Every alliance knows. Does it mean you'll cheat again? No, it doesn't. Does it mean you can't get rewards ever again? No, it doesn't. It just means that you've been identified as someone who has cheated in the past. Can you overcome it? Maybe, but it's still not going to remove that letter from you. It's not going to, I equate it to someone who breaks the law. They get arrested. Can they change their life and become better? Heck, yes, they can. But that information is always on that person's background and their history. You can't get rid of it. So that is one way. Another way is to, like Kurt said in there, nothing they can really do if they disband the alliance. That is one of the options. Disband the entire alliance. The alliance cheated, the alliance gets disbanded. Even if it's just the problem there, and the argument to that side is, well, what if it's only one or two people that cheated? Is it fair to affect all 28? Okay. Um, I'm going to take it a step further with what I think, and I'll give that here in a minute. And, the other is, well, just, keep docking them every season. It doesn't really matter. They can get docked. Yeah, they finished, they beat some alliances in the top 20, caused them to lose ranks. But, we can't do anything about that. So we're just going to dock them rewards. They're going to get Plat 1 rewards instead of Masters 1. Big deal. My school of thought, and this may be a bit controversial for some, I say dock everybody. Everybody in that alliance loses rewards, not just for that season, but then cannot get alliance-based rewards for some period of time, be it 30, 60, 90 days after. Make it hurt. Make it hurt everybody. Did everybody cheat? No. But everybody, if they didn't get caught, everybody would have shared in the spoils. So unfortunately, you got to share in the punishment as well. These alliances, especially the ones that get docked all the daggone time, know they're joining an alliance that people cheat. Period. They may talk a good game. Oh yeah, we did that in the past. We're not doing that anymore. They do it. They laugh at the system. They try to game the system. They try to come up with different and unique ways of doing it. Now I'm talking this, and I'm not in the top alliance anymore, so it does not really affect me too much personally. I'll get into how it does. So my thinking is, you take everybody, you dock them in AW, and those people, whether they join another alliance or not, just cannot get the rewards from the alliance-based activities for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the time period is that you want to set. It's got to hurt. It's got to change it from, the possibility of people knowing someone's cheating and just not saying anything about it and, who cares, to, oh, it's going to affect me for a while. It's going to hurt. It's going to affect my enjoyment. I know this person's cheating. Either they go or I go before the alliance goes down. Okay. I used an analogy in the CCP forum, and it's not a great one, and I can't think of a better one. It's like someone's kicking like a wasp nest. They're sitting there kicking it, getting the bees all riled up, and they kick it because maybe the wasp, when they get that person gets stung, doesn't hurt them very much. They're doing it just to torment, to have some fun, to tease others because, the stings just don't bother them very much. There's people that are sitting around looking at him going, what an idiot. Why is he kicking that nest? Laughing, having a good time, just enjoying it, until one of those people that are sitting back enjoying it gets stung. At that point, there's an uproar. At that point, people yell at that guy to quit kicking the nest, to quit stirring it up, to quit doing what he's doing. Because they all of a sudden go from being a spectator to it hurting them. Not a great analogy, but like I said, it is what I had off the top of my head, and that was only a little bit ago, so I can't really think about it. Now, for me personally, would I want to... The question then becomes, okay, if I'm in an alliance and someone's found cheating, would it suck if I lost rewards for that time period? Hell yes, it would. Plain and simple. It would hurt. I would hate it. I would be pissed. I would be mad. I would throw my phone down and say, I'm never playing the game again. And then come back later once I cool down. The question that I hope we all ask ourselves, what I hope that I would ask me is, would I want those rewards knowing someone cheated in order for me to get the rewards that I'm getting? That's the question. To me, peer pressure is a wonderful, wonderful thing. If enough people, because you do the scarlet letter thing, all that person's going to do is abandon that account, start a new one, cheat, and do it all over again. You start affecting legitimate people who are doing their best to enjoy a game, and you start affecting them, word's going to get out. You may create a new account, people are going to know who you are. Somebody somewhere is, and the word's going to get out. So, anyway, let's see. Today, I was forced to leave my ally of many years. I'm not sure if I should take that as a sign to leave the game. That hits kind of close to home, at least for me. Many of you know my situation. I was forced to leave one that I loved. I was in For Loki, and I was asked to leave, and I left. Did I hate it? Hell yes. Faust, you missed my conversation on software engineering. We'll get back to it later. To me, the other black man, that depends. You can still be friends with the folks in there. I'm still friends with some folks in For Loki. I still talk to them, not nearly as much as I used to, but I hate that part of it. But I think in an alliance that's better suited for how I want to play the game now. What it did do, it didn't force me to leave. It forced me to reconsider what I found fun in the game. Maybe that's more the sign of, hey, do I really enjoy that? If so, find another alliance that's up there. There's, top end alliances, Masters, Plat 1, Plat 2, Plat 3, wherever you're at, there's always alliances looking in that same level. It sucks. It hurts. No one ever enjoys being told you're not good enough for something. And, for those people that haven't had that happen to them, more power to them, because it sucks. As somebody who's managed people, it sucks to hire, or it sucks to be fired, and it sucks to fire somebody. If you enjoy firing people, there's something wrong with you. To me, this game is a little skewed, and almost all competitive games are, in that sometimes people put, oh my goodness, we could finish one tier higher if we get rid of a friend. If you are kicking people that you legitimately consider a friend because you think you can get slightly better rewards, you better get those rewards. You have sold yourself, you have sold your friendship for slightly better rewards. You better do everything in your power to make sure you get those rewards, because you burnt your bridge. You have caused the harm. That's just kind of my thinking. How would one go about finding a new alliance? Ask in here, ask in other streams. There's a alliance forum thread on the forums. There's Reddit. I steer clear of Reddit. There's, hey, you can do it in the general chat. There's always people there. It is, there's ways you can do it. I don't mind if you ask in here. I don't mind if you are an alliance leader looking for somebody, you put it in here, whatever you need to do. I'll be glad to help where I can. But, it is just, the end of a war season is always such a love-hate relationship with the game. It is, Doug, put in here what you're looking for. There's people in here that run alliances, Kurt now. So, there's always things, to me, and there we go. Goodbye. Hopefully I come back. Let's wait a second. There we go. We're back. I love hotel quality. It's a crappy thing at the end of a season. You got some people that are happy they finished well, some people that are sad they didn't quite finish high enough, getting people kicked, having to find new alliances, this, that, the other. Enjoy the game. Find what you enjoy out of the game. I loved my time in For Loki. I said it in the video. I love the folks in For Loki. Nothing against the folks that are there. Sorry, YouTube's giving me errors again. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I'm still here. Nothing against anybody there. It wasn't until I had time to step back, step away, and I've said it in my war videos that I've done this season. I'm enjoying the game so much more. You know, I did Alliance War and I stressed over Alliance War because I knew it was important to the folks in For Loki. I did not like the game mode. I don't. This past season, and it's not drastically different. We're in tier two. I'm just talking the difference between tier one and tier two. Very little difference when it comes to the nodes themselves. The difference is how you approach it. I approached war this year out of fun. I approached war, not this year, this season out of fun. I had the most fun I could have. I was planning my own paths. I was planning what fights I was going to take. Taking fights I typically wouldn't take. And I enjoyed every second of it because I knew if I died, no one cared. I wasn't going to get yelled at. I wasn't under stress to perform. And you know what? I performed so much better. Um, and that's kind of it. I will always do my bit for. Hey, I'm doing okay, AJ. I'm going to jump in there in a minute. Just getting some chat out of the way. So yeah, find what you enjoy. I have found that I enjoy Battlegrounds much more. I found that I enjoy Alliance War at my pace much more. I'm always did in For Loki, and it will in 4BGs and wherever else history takes me. I'm always going to do my bit for the Alliance. That's all you can do. So, bottom line to everything: bugs suck. They take a while. Read the post pinned in the chat. Don't cheat, or if you cheat, suck it up, Buttercup. Everybody's gonna pay for you cheating. That's what I'd like to see. And third, getting kicked out of alliances sucks. And I don't think anybody can change how you feel about that or really justify it. That's like I said, that's the crappy part of high-end gameplay anywhere. You end up picking people that you quote unquote consider friends, just chasing rewards. I would much rather, me personally, be with friends like I am in 4BGs. Great group of folks. A lot of my friends are in there. And enjoy the game versus stress over it. I guess where a lot of this is coming from, and I wish I could show the rankings. The issue to me kind of comes to a head because the cheating this season did ultimately affect For Loki and some of my friends. They finished one spot out of the top Masters bracket, I think. I think they finished 11th from what I've heard. I can't go in and look at the leaderboard, but I believe they finished 11th. They lost one war to the alliance that cheated and was docked. They win that war. They finish where they want to in the top Masters bracket. So that's kind of why that was a topic of thought and concern. I don't know. Like I said, it is just what it is. Cheating happens, but I want to see the sting strong enough to make it hurt. And there we go. I have fallen to C6. I was C5 earlier. Yeah. We got to win. We got to climb back up. Granted, this is probably the highest I've ever been at the start of week 2 of Battlegrounds. I've always been one of those guys coming up and getting stuck in Mysterium. So maybe this season we can stay. It won't happen. I'll be in Mysterium by the end of the stream, but maybe we can do something about that. And see, there you go, Doug. And Dother, find enjoyment. If you enjoy playing the game, there's an alliance out there that enjoys the same things you do. Take tonight, take tomorrow. I love matching alliance mates. No, I don't, because my alliance mates are so much better than I am. It sucks. There is no sugarcoating the fact that it sucks to be kicked. Nothing anybody can say, nothing anybody can do, nothing anybody can do to change that fact. No, to me, honestly, if somebody would have the conversation with me, and I said this in my video, really the conversation should have been, hey, look, we want to push podium, if that's the case, or whatever rank it is. And somebody would come to me and saying, hey, look, do you mind stepping aside? I would quit. If I knew I was the one thing if I knew I was the one thing affecting the enjoyment of 29 other people, hell yes, I'd step aside. That's who I am. I don't want to be somewhere where everybody's looking at me like, man, you're the weakest link. You're the reason we can't. I don't want to be there. Especially if they're my friends. My friends, I want to boost them up. I want to make them get whatever it is that they're looking for. I want them to get the most enjoyment out of everything. That's who I am. You have that conversation with the person. You know, that's just kind of how I roll. Oh boy, I hate seeing that guy up in the upper right hand corner. What to do? 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 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll go there. Hey, Rollers, enough of that. Now we get to have fun. We've gotten all the dirty, nasty, ugly business out of the way. Let's have some fun now. Why? Why, Juan? Why? You didn't have to do that. There was nothing saying you had to put Enchantress in there. Not a thing. Understand? Why? I want my emotes. I want my why? Don't have it. Let's see what Enchantress we get. There are many faces to Enchantress. Which one do we get this time? Oh, we got the Intercept one. And the Untouchable one. That was fair. What do you think? Thank you for the root right then. That was perfect timing. And yes, this is the absolute worst champ to use against a Mystic. Just saying it now. Because drives Mystic Dispersion crazy. Should I have used somebody else? Yes. Did I think about it in time? Hell no. Did we get her down? Yes, we did. There we go. It's a win. I beat Enchantress. It doesn't matter. So far holding okay. A couple little bobbles here and there, but so far we've managed to stay connected for 32 minutes. And my dinner tonight was very salty. I know you guys were concerned. Look at that. Look at that. Crappy matchup, and I somehow won. Don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the way, but, you know, we got one out of the way. Let's have fun. Let's have some fun. Don't believe Kurt. He's been waiting to kick you for a long time. That's what he tells me. I think we're going to do this. Yeah. Kurt exposed. There you go. Um, couldn't reach him. What? What? Why did the concussion not stick on him? Come on. Jesus. Okay. I just want to... All I want is a... I can't even do it now. I just wanted a parry. Just wanted a parry. Hey, we got the win. I just wanted a parry. That's all I wanted. You know, it's not too much to ask for. Just wanted a parry. Just a little simple parry. That's all I wanted. GG's one. If you're out here, GG's my friend. I thought for sure you had me. But folks, look, the C5. C5. Don't tell anybody. It may look like I know what I'm doing. I don't. Hey, Obits, what's going on? Hey, Mr. 12345, bro. Oh, who's the last one we're going to get rid of? Who are we going to get rid of? Who do we want to get rid of? Do we want to get rid of Cal? Do we want to get rid of Mephisto? Do we want to get rid of Guillotine 2099? I think we're going to get rid of... Hey, Nugget, what's going on? Oh, I'm not on top yet. We can't quite go out yet. Oh, who do we want to use? And for those just joining, yes, the quality the picture, what you see on the screen, is not normal. Um, that's why you see the hotel stream quality may vary. Um, right now, I'm doing 720p and 30 frames per second, so you may have to deal with it for a little bit. It ain't great, but it is what it is. And I don't want all. I can't do. Can I do? No, I can't. I can't go all mutant. I could. I shouldn't. And I won't. Game wants me to, in a real big sense. So we're gonna go mostly mutant in the mutant meta. Oh, Oklahoma. I think we're gonna start. Yeah, let's just start there. Hmm. Hmm. Kind of thought figured Juggy would be the play there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You were supposed to come after me. Come on. Oh, damn it. I was 1% away from having a really clean fight there. I think word goes one. Hey, Lee Boyce, thank you for the re-up on the membership. 11 months from Mr. Lee Boyce. What a stud that Lee Boyce is. What an absolute stud that man is. Hey, Carl, what's going on? No, 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 no. Not C6. Don't let that fool you. Unless I lose here. And then it's C6. This is tough. Stupid protection. Damn it. One too many. One too many hits. Mm. Okay. I think YouTube's doing it. There may have been a little delay in there, a little lag. Oh, well. Hmm. I think I lose this. I maybe should have gone shocker. Oh, didn't push me over. And that was the end of it right there. Oh, I just needed that to be a special 2 instead of a special 1. Oh, well. Oh, well. I don't think it would have been fast enough anyway. I may have should have gone shocker. But look at that. Look at the difference there. 269 to 150. Come on. Come on. Didn't seem fair. That's a large spread for C5. Wow. C5 goes the whole way from 285 to 151. I am actually in C6. That's a big spread. Let's see. The dream would be drafting Hunter. Oh, talking to the draft. SP3E5. That's an alliance that we faced this year and this past season on Alliance War. That's where I recognize the name from. Who are we getting rid of here? Who do we want to get rid of? Who do we not want to fight? I think we'll take him out. I think we will take. That's a big Atuma, just in case I don't get a good draft pick. And I think we'll take him. Why not? Something different. Talking football. Foosball. Foosball. Why in this channel would you talk football? You know, do you think I care? Yes, I do care about football. Come on now. Who are you kidding? I don't know if I'm quite ready for the draft yet, though. I still feel like I'm in free agent mode. Oh, talk away. I actually, you know me, I love football. I just, like I said, I'm still, I think, in free agent mode. I'm not ready for the draft. Probably because my team doesn't have a very high draft pick. Yeah, this year it's just filler players. It's not going to be a whole lot. We'll probably get a defensive starter or an offensive line starter in the draft. As exciting as that sounds right there. Let's go there. Need to get something for defense as well, so I think we'll go there. My team is the Commanders. I predate by far the Commanders. I predate the Washington football team. I predate. Ugh. Ugh. I almost say I predate the Redskins. I see. I can get behind the Giants. My grandfather, who I loved dearly, was a um, big Giants fan. I watched the Redskins well before the early '90s. I watched the Redskins in the late '70s when I can, that's what I can remember. I probably watched them in the early '70s. I just don't remember it too much. Screwed up. So we'll do that. Gosh dang it, I did it again. Why am I thinking those parries are going to work? I'm completely forgetting what the node is. So we're just going to sell this one. Just going to sell. And of course I don't get the passive on that. Can I get some passive incinerates? Hey, we got 4 of them. Not going to get the passive here. We got the passive Soul Barb. Not that it matters. And no passive incinerates, but 2 of them stuck. That's a loss. Okay, but it got Sentinel out of the way. Well, I didn't grow. Well, I kind of from about 15 on, I was in North Carolina. Early, mid 80s on, I was in North Carolina. But I grew up. I grew up outside Philadelphia, which is why I am not a fan of the Eagles. This is probably a loss. Not much I can do here. That'll be 2 in a row. We started off nice. Portis, Santana Moss, Chris Cooley, LeVar Arrington. Oh, there you go. Good old days. Mine was more Joe Theismann, John Riggins, Art Monk. Of course you evade. Of course you evade. Why wouldn't you evade? Game, you can kiss my big old butt. Didn't evade that time, did you? Of course, that hit me somehow. Can you get lucky any more than what you're doing? Good golly, man. You had to throw that, didn't you? Big old L's. Yep. Oh. Well, folks, the season started off so well. I remember watching a game where LT shattered Joe. Oh, man. That game. I think that's the first time watching a sporting event that I felt pain for something that happened on TV. Hey, Guardian, what's going on? Yeah, so that one, and then you saw. I mean, very similar with oh, what's his name? Played for the Chiefs. I can't think of his name right at the moment. It has completely flown right out of my brain. Um, it'll come to me. Don't tell me. I can picture him. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of it right at the moment. And I was so busy trying to worry about what to pick, I picked Shuri, or quarterback's name. Alex Smith. There we go. I knew it would come to me. Do I stay at IHG? No, I typically am either a Hilton or a Marriott in where I stay. Those are the two that I normally will pick. Hey, Yoshi, I didn't even realize who I was going against. That's how much I was paying attention. I think we'll start there. Yeah, he made a bit of a comeback. He didn't make a full comeback. He made a little bit of one. Okay. Now, okay, I was going to say either one of those, it all depends on the enchantress he gets. If he gets the kind enchantress, he wins. If he gets a pain in the butt one, I win. That's got a little healing going there. Of course. Roots me right on that. Right on the money. He got such a kind enchantress.
Mm, love this game. It's so fun. They say play MCOC, it's a fun game.
Let's go back to the beginning of the stream where I was just talking and not playing. I'm tanking everything. Save me. Well, we're going to give him something. He's either going to win or he's going to struggle. Hey, Dother, I think the person who commented right after you may be. He may be that person. Domino has got to be the tankiest champ in the world sometimes. I swear, her hit point pool, when you get her below 30%, triples. Sometimes. It's amazing how tanky she gets. I mean, she had 20-ish crit bleeds on her, and her health pool wasn't going down very fast. Kurt, it'll be me. I'm super accurate in the 1 5 yard range. Hey, there you go. That's kind of me. All right. So now it comes down to this last round. Yeah, I have points in assassins. I think I've either got one or two. I can't remember in the build I've got for BGs. Okay. It becomes Sinister, B, Onslaught. for the win. Let's play this the right way. Oh, BS. How did I end up back there? And still rooted? I lose. Onslaught's doing it much quicker. Guarantee it. And we triggered protection, so we're just going to hang back. And of course we're rooted, so we'll just do this again. Of course. Yeah, I couldn't get the stun in there in time. That's 3 in a row. Beautiful. GG's, Yoshi. We're tanking. We're tanking hard. We win 1 and lose 3. That's not a good start to the night. Chiefs need. You're too accurate in the 1 to 5. I'm talking about Battlegrounds, 1 to 5 point range. This 119 is way too high. So I just need to get back down to the 1 to 5 point range. Then I can be accurate. Don't like this losing stuff. Okay, let's win. Let's win 1. Let us win 1. Well, we won 1. Let us win 2. I don't understand it. The other people, they'll put Deathless Thanos down. I won't be able to get him down, and take me a minute and a half. He'll breeze right through mine somehow. Unless Daniel Jones becomes, you never know. Quarterbacks that are drafted as high as like Daniel Jones was and all that aren't bad. Sometimes it is just the system or the things around them that causes some issues. Hell with that. I'm going there. remind me, somebody, and yell at me repeatedly to go buy some rerolls. Okay. Let's start there. Maybe. There we go. I hit the lock button like 5 times. You know, I expect it to work right the first time around. I know what he wants me to do there. But I'm going to do that. I know what he wanted. I wasn't giving it to him. Was not giving it to him. And I see the little yellow bar up on my YouTube telling me, hey, you're not transmitting fast enough. How that hit me. That's one thing about this game. I always, well, it shouldn't surprise me, but it still does. God, I love the light intercept, or the light start of an attack of any flavor. And protection time. And the smack me in the face time. Hey, protection. Unstoppable. So we're just going to sit there along the wall. Wait till I am rooted. Come on. Just enough there. Oh, yeah, and you know, Dother, that protection, it waits until you know you're right at your peak. You've got everything lined up. You're ready to go. You drop it. You know it's going to kill him. And protection. Ha ha, sucker. And you know what you did. You know what you did, guy. You do know what you did, right? You used your counter for that. Of course, you got Juggies. Juggies can do it. Juggies will take some damage. I'm hoping I don't screw this fight up. The fight up. Not completely, but enough. Oh, I love this game. Have I said I love this game tonight? You cannot escape that heavy when you are rooted. There's just no way. It can't be done. And Juggy will win. Yeah, see, there's no way when you're rooted, you just can't escape it. Seth Dazzler's awakened ability gives her the reflect, and I'm screwed here. I got to drop him. This is over. So we'll drop 4 in a row. Be time to restart the game and reconsider things here after this one. What the heck? Oh, this game. Oh, Jesus. Mm. Okay. My last 3 Titans were all new champs: Falcon 3.0, Dazzler, Dupe, and Gent. There you go. I would love to get Gentle. Okay. We got to do something here, man. That's 4 in a row. I need to go on a winning streak. I'm in the Mysterium group again. The the group I can't ever seem to break free of. Yeah, I'm perennially stuck in Mysterium. I am the Mysterium Master. Thank you for the buy rerolls. I saw it. I saw it. I think I'm good for right now, but I'll run out if I don't buy some now. And of course, those don't automatically claim. Everything else does in the game. Those don't. Nah, I was good. I still had 3 in overflow. My best finish was last season, whatever I finished. M3, M2. Gentle's kind of tricky on defense, and good on offense. Well, Guardian, I started in C5. I'm just falling through the ranks now. I appreciate that, Guardian. I'm glad somebody's got my back. They haven't said for sure they're leaving. They're looking into kind of redoing the system. I know what the problem is. I got to get comfortable. I got to mess my hair up. Got to look like, Christopher Lloyd here on a bender. Well, if I want to get in the zone, I'd be sitting back over there on my bed, where I can put my feet up and relax.
Oh, hell, man. Jesus.
I am in a bit of trouble. What's my best 40-yard dash? You don't want to know. My best is slow. I don't watch South Park anymore. I've never really did watch South Park. Just never really been my thing or my style. Okay, I've got a plan here. Don't know if it's going to work. I have no defense. I'm lucky if I can walk 40 yards. How about that? Um, Purify. Dumbass. This is one tanky boy. Yeah, I had nothing there. And he's got Juggy for mine. It's over. Best photon counters, probably Manus, followed by Crossbones, followed by, I don't know, probably Dazzler. Yep, this is over. So we do 5 in a row. Of course. Really, that's all that that special 2 did. Really, dude. Oh my gosh. Got stunned right on the last hit of that combo. Oh, you can't make the crap. You cannot make the crap up in this game. That's 5 in a row. Oh my gosh. Okay. I still don't have a shot here. No, man. For Photon Manus doesn't need to be awakened. He gave me a chance. I gotta focus. Okay. Sorry. Got a little excited there. It's been a while since I've seen a win. All right. Got a little excited there. That one you just have to make sure you throw that special one when you have 10 charges and they're stunned. And my Dazzler's holding in there. There we go. Dazzler doing her thing. That was a solid 5-yard pass. Hey, there we go. Yeah, it's risky, but he could probably do it. Look at that. We got some points back, baby. We're back on the right track. It won't last long. Don't get your hopes up. See, I told you, it won't last long. This will be a roster. This guy, if I remember correctly, has, no other way of putting it. He's got a huge deck. It's a rank 4 Onslaught, a rank 4 Okoye, a rank 4 Jack. And everybody else, look at that. Rank 3 Sig 80. Rank 3 20 Gene. Like I said, this guy, he's got a huge deck. Falcon. Just means we have to focus up a little bit more. Just means we have to be on top of things. This guy's deck is large. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Dag nabbit. A Venom Pool. That's one I haven't seen in a while. A rank 3 Venom Pool. He can be a pain in the butt with some power gain. I will say that much. Okay, well, he's got somebody now for my thing. You can't get out of vibranium, but hey, yeah, it is tough. This game ain't easy. Battlegrounds, I don't care who you are. If you finish in Celestial, you're one heck of a player. Even if you finish Mysterium, if you finish anywhere, it's a tough game. It can be, I mean, this game can be brutal. Okay, I think we're going to go there. Now he's going Venom Pool on attack. That'll be interesting. Oh, how did I lose all my charges there? Oh, I love this game. It knew what I was looking to do. Oh my gosh. I quit. It knew, this game's AI just knew exactly what I was looking for. Very carefully, AB, and I'm not good at it. Juggy can counter him. Fortunately, I got him down. You got to use his unstoppables to get openings for heavies. But if you notice there, every time he came to hit, a couple times he came and hit one time into my unstoppable, I'd go to throw a heavy, and he was dexing back. Like it knew what I wanted to do. I'm kind of throwing this one. I'm kind of throwing this one because fighting Jean Grey is no fun. Yeah, you got a heavy counter, and I wasn't doing that in that particular instance. It's really hard to get the heavy counter spacing right, and I haven't practiced it nearly enough. I haven't even fought him in the event quest, or did I? I fought him in the event quest last month. What am I saying? I just kind of threw champions at him. That was an intercept. And I'm doing that first. And I love how she can reverse controls things that say they're immune to reverse controls. So now we go to a special 3, and I've got reverse controls again. Too early. And reverse controls mid special, but guess what we get to do right here? Yeah, probably some lag. Nothing I can do about it. That is the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen. Should be back now. Yeah, Jean she's probably a better defender than she is attacker. I'm going to give it a second here for the stream to kind of settle down and recover. It should be back now. I hope it's back now. At least it's better than it's been some nights from hotel. Yeah, back to C6. At least it's not disconnecting me every 2 minutes. I guess, in a way, I wish it was, because then all those losses would have not been seen by people and I could look like I'm winning all the time, but you know. It just, some nights you got it, some nights you don't, and well, when I'm doing it on stream, I mostly don't. But we have fun. I think after this one, we'll revisit the Deb post. We'll wake Faust up from his slumber. We'll revisit. Bye, guy. We'll revisit that Deb post. We'll do a little chatting about that. Yeah, we'll do a little chatting there, and just kind of go and see what people think. Because that'll be enough Battlegrounds for tonight. Win or lose. Okay, I got to come up with a domino counter. I can't not draft him. Hey, and we're starting to get the YouTube error again. Just in time for another match. Stupid game. Stupid thing. Stupid things. Okay. We're going to try... No, we can't do that. I was going to say, we got to try Guillotine 2099, but not over Deathless Thanos. He's got that Havoc. I needed some type of Havoc counter. I was hoping for a Deadpool X-Force there. Didn't get him. I'm going to bait that Havoc out. And we're going to throw a little bit. A little throw. Hey, Cyprix, it's going okay. A little throw here. Oh, he you see his pause right before he threw that special? He got it all lined up for me. He paused right before he threw that sucker. Like I said, this was a little throw anyway. Oh, you can't make that up. Sometimes I love it when the root happens right in you're in the middle of something. Oh well. And he's got perfect counters for everything else I've got, and I've got nothing for him. So this will be another loss, which means we can't end here. We got to run at least one more. I screwed up. And she's not going to throw it. She's going to wait till I'm rooted. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I knew she was going to wait till I was rooted. Ah, damn it! Oh my gosh, how much are you going to string together, you stupid little... then you come right out of that, and before I can... That AI was blipping incredible right there. I'm below a bar of power on my special one. I just want to get to a special one. I'm watching the replay. The string of hits that she was able to connect to push me from a special one to a special three almost nonstop. I couldn't get a simple parry in 2 bars of power. On a champion that should be easy, and I screwed up. I've tried that, and I get caught too many times, Garden. Okay. Gotta win. Gotta win, gotta win, gotta win, gotta win. Then we're going to do some off stream so I can regain what I've lost. Come on. Let's do this. We got this. I don't know what everybody's worried about. The C5 warrior will rise again. The C5 warrior will rise again. That's the way I look at it. That's what I say. And howdy, Max. Okay. Now the heck with it. We're going with the robots. We'll go with the robots. We're going to live and die by the robots. That was kind of the play I was hoping he would go with. To be completely honest, that was the play that I wanted. Yeah, so you got to get the spacing just right. Oh, God. Sometimes, like I said, this game is perfect in its timing. And you cannot ask for anything better than that right there. I mean, what the... I can't get anything. I don't think I've hit him but 3 times, maybe. That guy sucks. Okay. That got that box out of the way, though. That got box out of the way. More power to you if you can do that with Dazzler. More the power to you. And let's go the whole way back to the back of the screen. Okay. Okay. Now. This was a bad play. Yeah, this is a loss. Yeah, especially when I get hit by that. I don't know why my speed debuffs didn't work. Maybe it took too long. Who else did I have there that I could have... Yeah, I couldn't have done anybody. Yeah, I'm going to do that here in a minute. I got to win one, and then I'll do it. You know, I've just got to tank my complete freaking Battleground season right here. You know, it wouldn't be one of me if I don't have a stream like where I lose, 6 matches. You know, you got to make it 7 or 8. We got to make this like a 5-hour stream for me just to win one match so that I can stop for the night. You know me. Spleet fell off a second before. That's what I thought. Hey, Max, what's going on, man? I'm having a rough night. GG's though, man. I'm not drafting well is 99% of the problem, I think. Oh my gosh. What do you take here? Holy. It's like, can I have them all? Just put all 5 of those right in my deck. The root, to me, the problem with the root, I don't mind root too much. It just always happens either a fraction of a second too early or a fraction of a second later than what I want it to. It's never one of those things where it's right on time. I was doing good. I mean, I had several good streams and good days up until tonight. Tonight's been the worst one of the Gladiator circuit. I'll kind of build up from here, but just want to finish up over 100 points and then we'll kind of be in a good spot. I think we'll start there. Yeah, they're the same exact nodes except for the root. And that root, it doesn't sound like much, but it makes it a completely different feel. Can't block that one. I forgot that he can block unblockable specials. Hey, Samuel, I'm actually probably stealing from the Holiday Inn at this point across the highway. There are way too many champions in this game for me to remember what all of them can do at this point. Just too many for my little old brain to remember. How did I not parry that? I thought I could make contact after the root. I couldn't. I mean, that blown parry at the beginning. Oh well. Oh well. I think we're okay this final round, though. I think. I could have won that so easily. Just hurts. Just hurts a wee little bit. All right. Let's win this and have a conversation again. I was trying to back away from her. 50,000 points should still be enough to win it. Or not. I wish I. You know, some nights aren't your night. I knew the falter was coming. I knew the pursuit was coming. All I tried to do was Dex out of the damn way. I think that's 2 wins, 8 losses. I'm beside myself at this point, folks. And the worst part is I don't feel like I'm playing that bad. I'm just a little bit off. Just a little bit off on some of these matches. I'm getting back up into Celestial tonight, though. May not be on stream. But we'll get there, and we'll have that conversation yet, Faust. I promise. But you know the rules. You know the rules. I don't make them. I don't make the rules. I have to follow them. We got to end on a win. Even if it takes me all night long. I don't know on this one. He outdrafted me. I've got the bigger roster, but he outdrafted. He outdrafted by far. Do I throw? Yeah, Reaper. I didn't. That's a it's a tough thing to do there. Okay, after this one, can't let muscle memory take control. Really, there was no delay in there. That was a cleanse, instantaneous, instantaneous, heavy. I mean, that was ridiculous on that timing. Okay, lovely. Like I said, he outdrafted me with a bunch of rank fives. There's some nights I want to cry. If I lose this one, I may just call it. Okay. Hey, Cyber, what's going on? He had to throw that special in that particular window. That AI. Hey, there we go. That AI is too darn special for me. Just perfect. Okay. I just need the Kabam gods to favor me one time. I knew it. I knew it. Just go to flipping. He threw that special. The second, baby. Sometimes she'll hold that one. That one, she threw it. I mean, I had it almost lined up perfect. If I didn't take that combo out of that route, which I shouldn't have taken. Good gosh, man. All right. Now we can go do other things. Let's bring this back up. Oops, can't scroll up there. Photons, yeah. Yeah, that was a... Okay, so for Faust, here we go. So this post came out. This is kind of what we were talking about last night. For those that were on my fourth stream after the internet crapped out on me like 59,000 times. We were talking about transparency, communication, things like that. If you're going to have mistakes and problems, communicate them. Here we go. So this kind of gives you a glimpse inside the world of being a software engineer. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it now. This is your alt. AB, your AB's alt. Anyway, so software development is not something that is linear. You can't do it in a bubble. You can't do it in a vacuum, anything like that. So, this post here, and I've had it pinned up here in the chat, the entire night. So that's that's what's pinned up there. Okay. I'll deal with that here in a minute. So anyway, what this does is kind of open up the curtain to the Kabam development lifecycle. Things are done in stages. So, I'm not going to read all of it. They touch on a few things here that I do want to touch on. One of the challenges, and this is one of the paragraphs right here. One of the challenges of running a live service game that releases a new build every single month is that the next release is always right around the corner. Be able to ship builds predictably, we go through a number of build finaling milestones for each release. Okay, that's important because they break it down to 4. I guarantee there's probably more than that. Bug resolution, critical fixes, the submission to Apple and Google, and then release. I'm not going to kind of go through what each of those stages are. You guys can read it, but this is kind of what I want to touch on. So here's how their milestones work. We're going to take, for example, the April release that is coming up April 7th. Any bug fixes that they had to be identified, have a solution developed for, have a solution implemented, have the solution tested, and have it signed off on by March 4th. Okay, so that means any bug identified in the March release, which comes out 3.3, unless it is going to shut the game servers down, will not be in the April release. Okay, so if there is a bug with a particular champion and interaction, I don't know, let's say there was the bug with Korg where Hyperion was whiffing, or um, Kindred was whiffing on Korg, trying to counter heavies and specials. Okay. That was identified, say it was identified March 5th. It's not game breaking. It was too late for the April release. So the earliest it's going to be fixed is May. 2 months. Okay. So from release here to a normal bug fix at the earliest is 2 months. And that is assuming that by April 8th, they have identified the cause of the issue. They've been able to program a fix. They have been able to test the fix, and they've been able to implement it and have it ready to go. That's a lot in a 30-day period. So if something game breaking does come, and this is just on client side, not server side, there are two differences, and they touch on that. Client side is anything that you have to do to upgrade this device. Server side, they can do on their end and fix things natively. So, this kind of gives you a little peek into their schedule. So, you can kind of start figuring it out. Okay, any bug identified in the March release is probably going to be May. Any bug identified in the April release is probably going to be June, and so forth, so on. Depending on how big the bug is, it could stretch it out even further. And they touch on that. So, and Dorky Diggity Dave here goes into, just kind of the scenario I said. They find a live client bug on March 14th. It's not going to be fixed until the next window, which is at the earliest in May, 52 days away. And, this paragraph here is another one I think is very important. From developer side of things, waiting a few months to implement a bug fix that fits within the build release schedule feels like a rapid and organic turnaround. So from the developer side of it, it's identified, first week in March, they're putting a fix out at the next available build. They're happy. They have done the fastest they can do, which in this case was 52 to 58 days. Okay. However, from a player's perspective, we understand this can not only feel like an eternity, but also a frustrating experience when playing the game. But they literally cannot do it any faster than that. The way their build schedules work, the way the game works, the way the approvals work, and they kind of touch on that in the post. They have to send it off to Apple and Google, and it usually takes at least a few days, if not a week, for that to return with either, okay, you're good to go, or you have to implement a fix before you can patch. So that last week up here where they're talking about between submission and release, that little 2-week period there is crucial. It takes them a week. And the reason they have to submit it on the 18th is the 18th then goes to the 25th. If they come back, say on the 25th and say, hey, you need to change something here, they've only got 1 week to get it, or a couple days to get it fixed and get it back in the hands of Apple and Google for them to re-review it to be able to release it by the 7th. It's a tight window. And then they touch on what I was talking about last night. One of the problems is the game is 10 years old. There are 300 champions with, I don't know the statistics. I don't know what it ends up being, how many interactions when you have to put 300 that can face 290, one champion that can face 299 others and kind of rotate through all the iterations of that. There are many compounding issues and challenges that regularly present themselves with each new build. To name a few, older legacy. I was talking about that last night on the stream. I guarantee you, there's not a single developer that originally wrote the code for this game that is still employed working on this game. I'm willing to bet there's not a single one. I'm willing to bet there's not a single developer working on the game right now that worked with someone that worked on the original build. And then they touch on some of the other stuff. But, that to me, I know there's going to be people that complain and talk about it. That is what a software engineer goes through in any organization. They have build dates. They've got these milestones. And getting stuff done in between the milestones is next to impossible. And you can see there, that release schedule is set in stone. There's nothing they can do about that. It would be nice to say, oh, I found a bug, March 31st. It could be in the April release. Not going to happen because that April release has already been approved by Apple and Google, and there ain't no changing it at that point. that train has left the station and it cannot come back. So, very, very good post, very good transparency. This is what we need more of. That is, in a nutshell, exactly what we need on a regular basis. Give us this information so that, yeah, people are still going to bitch and moan. It's a video game. And it's in everybody's right. I have the right, if I want to bitch and moan that things are broken. I'm a stockholder of Kabam. I pay to play the game. I have put many monies in their pocket. But now I can make an informed bitching moment. After 52 days, I can bitch and say, you had time. Up until 52 days, I can say, there's a bug, damn it, fix it. After 52 days, then I can really say, you're slacking. Give me an update on this. You owe it to us. So that's it. That's it. That's all. That's the fun of it. I love that this explains why devs can't just snap their fingers like, oh yeah, and I've known it all along. I mean, software engineering. I'm trying to think of what the equivalent job would be. It's kind of like officiating in any sport. At their best, you don't know they're there. If they do an excellent job officiating a game, you never know they're there. Okay, it doesn't register in your mind that the officials were there in any way, shape, or form. With a software package, if everything goes well, you never know the software engineers are working on anything. They're in the background, they're just doing their job, everything's flowing. But the second there's a blown call, or the second there's a bug, the software engineers suck. It's the way it is. It's, no matter what walk of life you are in or that you follow, that's the way it is. Sports, when there are just jobs that when you're doing the absolute perfect job, you don't get thanked. You just, they're not there. They're no impact. There's nothing. They're not doing anything important. They're just, things are working. Game is flowing the way it should. The calls that need to be made are being made. Those that don't need to be made aren't. But the second an official blows a call in another team's favor, we're all yelling the refs suck. Just is what it is. Unfortunately, there are going to be people who, instead of trying to figure out what Dave is saying, oh yeah, I guarantee you can go out on Discord right now or on the forums, and there are 150 minimal bitch posts. Because people didn't read it. They don't understand it. They don't want to understand it. They don't want to take the time. They don't want to appreciate it. They'll apply whatever logic is in their job to a software engineer. There'll be 100 IT folks saying, oh, I work in networking, and as soon as my customer tells me that they're down, I go and fix it. Okay, you don't have to do a software build. You don't have to do a build that gets approved by another company. Software engineering is a very unique art. Do I always agree? Now, see, there's things we can still complain about. After 2 months, after a 60-day window, if it's not fixed, come on, give us an update. Communicate those things that that are bugs that are older than 60 days that you're still working on. I think they owe us that. They do have, I don't know if I've got it linked on here. They do have this board, which I recommend people look at. These are their issues that they're working on in that 60-day window. And they give you the status. They give you the status in that little color block right there. So you can tell if it says fix in development, it's probably going to be wherever they're at in their build cycle in that next build that's available. If it says under investigation, there ain't no way that bug right there, whatever that is, defenders are occasionally able to throw a special in between heavy attacks. Okay. That particular bug is not going to fit into their development window. So it's not going to be in the April release. Most likely at this point, since it needs to be done by May or April 5th to reach May, it's not going to be done for May. That bug is not going to be solved until June at the earliest. Those that say fix the development will probably be whatever the next build is. I don't know if there's any other filters that they use here or not. Yeah, it looks like those are the only colors. Anything else, I don't think. Yeah, so that little board right there will give you an insight into what's coming soon in the next build, um, and what they're fixing. Is it always up to date? I don't think they keep this up to date the way they should, but that's what they should do. They should be updating this and posting this link every cycle, saying, "Hey, these are the bugs that we've identified that are fixed. These are the ones that that comes out in the patch notes. Give us the list of ones that you're still working on that have been identified by the community." Um, I think they owe us that. After 60 days, we can bitch if they don't do that. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. That's it for me. The clown and middle finger emotes are always there. I'm not sure what that is, Faust. I missed something somewhere. So, you know, just just love your local software dev. They do a thankless job at the most part. The game might not be perfect, but honestly, this is way more communication. Yeah, and that's all. To me, that's all I'm asking for. That's what I've always said. Just communicate. It makes the world a difference. You know, give people an insight into what you're working on. It helps. It is really a nice thing for them to do. All right. That said, as much as I love you guys, it's 8 o'clock my time. It's late on the East Coast. I've been at this for over 2 hours. Let's go raid Zemo. All right, there you go. There's a link, and you can do the Safe Posse raid. I think he's still streaming. He was before I started my little rant. Oh, on the Discord you can see the remotes. Gotcha. Yeah, just just understand. It's tough. It's a thankless job. But I do want to thank all of you that hung in with me through my lovely streak tonight. I hope to rebuild that tomorrow. Nice 4-loss, 3-loss streak right there. Beautiful. Separated by one win to start us off. What did I do? 4 and 7. Not the greatest night. But anyway, go raid Zemo. Good channel supporter, good friend. Go say hi to him. Anyway, until I see you guys sometime tomorrow, have a great evening and take care all.